Welcome back to part 3 of my project. It's been real busy the last 3 or 4 weeks. I've been shooting some videos, so let's watch them and I'll show you what I've been up to. I've just put the car back on the dolly so I could work on the door jambs on the hinges. I had some broken off. Well, they were all broken off. I had to pull the plates out and drill them. But while it was up on its side, I went ahead and cut out the trunk area. I didn't need any of this. I'll probably have to trim a little bit more off up there later. But I wanted to go ahead and get this cut out way before it went to blasting. The dolly, I made these outrigger things on the side so you could tilt it up on its side and work on the bottom. I was having a lot of difficulty moving the car around because I was basically just sliding this on the floor, and it was, I don't know, it was kind of wobbly. I just didn't trust it, so I went ahead and put these casters on there, which helped immensely. The car rolls around real easy now when you have it up on its side. It was just too much for me to move by myself. The car is just a little bit too heavy. I was talking about the doors. These are the, I'll show you over here. These are the hinges here. These slip into the door jamb, and they have, each hinge has 4 bolts on it. What had happened was, they've never been off. The threads were extremely rusty, but what they did at the factory is they have these slots on the back sides here. There's one up here and here, here and here. And what they do is they have these threaded plates that go in there. Well, these just slip in like that. Get it all the way in here. Of course, this is a difficult one. But anyway, whoops, camera on here. That's how they fit. And then they're somewhat adjustable. There's some adjustment to them. Well, all of these have been broken off. So you couldn't pull them out here because of the back of the bolt was sticking out, oh gosh, ½ inch out the back side. So no way it's going to come out. I did not want to cut this stuff up. You won't see it because the upholstery will cover it, but the other option was from the other side. So what I did was I cut these little holes out. I used a Dremel with a small 1.5" abrasive cutting disc designed for metal. I found if you're real careful with those, you can use them for applications like this. You can use them for knocking the heads off of some of the small screws that that just won't come out or something. But it's a really nice tool to use. Anyway, that's what I did is I cut these out, and I was able to pry these out from this side. And then after I got them out, I straightened the whole little holding pads they had behind here. I straightened those out so they will function. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and fold these back, weld this up, and you'll never know I did it after it's done. What's kind of nice is this door jamb here is visible when the doors are open. This isn't because it's covered by the fender, and then the door is up to about here. So even if I don't do a super clean job of this, you still won't see it. But anyway, that's what I did there. And this is a caster on the front. These really did help to get the car moved around. There was a lot of undercoating here in these back corners that I went ahead and stripped off. So I wanted to get a good sandblast or media blast back in there. Pretty much ready to go. I went ahead and pulled off the left rocker, I'll point this out. This had been repaired a long time ago, and this is how not to do it. They put a piece of metal just right over the outside of the old rocker, which is this. That's really not the proper way to do it. You can see some of the Bondo coming through there. The rust is still going to be there. They really didn't solve the rust issue. All they did was, I think, is the body shop covered it up, Bondoed it, put some paint on it, and made it look pretty for a few years, and that's about it. But it did not help the car at all. In fact, this piece here, that's all Bondo. There's no other, no, there's no metal on that. It's just all Bondo. You can see the inner panel. It has these corrugated, I guess, strengthening to help strengthen it. What they should have done here was, if you can look, you can see these spot welds. They should have drilled these out, then popped this off and put that on. I'm hoping now I don't have to replace this whole piece. I don't think I do, but I don't know until I get this back from blasting how bad this is here. I've seen worse, but I know it's through up here, so I'll have to replace probably over to here somewhere and replace this section, and the same in the back. I'll have to do that back there. This little lower leg, dog leg area here, up about 10 inches high, that metal will be replaced, but it will most likely all be covered by the new fender. This piece still has to come out. And again, these spot welds along here should have been drilled out along with the ones here, here, and here. These will have to be drilled out here to get this piece off. I'll probably just go ahead and remove that. Like, somebody put pop rivets on here, and I think there's a little repair panel on the inside here or something. I don't know what that is, so I'll have to repair that. The rest of this looks pretty good. You can see where I repaired the got two hands here. You can see where I repaired had to cut the openings here to get to the plates that hold the door hinges on. So those are all done and ready to go. The door ones came out. The ones in the door, they came out, they slid out real nice. Didn't take much at all. I was able to not break any bolts off there. Now, I just finished trimming off the left outer sill. I don't have it totally off, but you can see where I've drilled the spot welds. They were pretty evenly spaced going across here. I went ahead and trimmed this off in pieces. This is the door sill. This piece here I'm going to kind of save because it just has a little surface rust on the inside, and if I ever need, you know, little metal pieces or make some little pieces, it's still usable metal. Just clean it off if I'm making a small piece somewhere, or to fill a hole with it or something like that. So I don't throw things like this away. The other stuff here is all junk. And here you can see where I trimmed it off. Spot welds, hammer and chisel, just pop them and they pop off. The MG is back from blasting. Just want to do a quick walk around because it's not very often you get to see a car that's totally stripped of everything. We'll start here in the back. Let's see if I can get down if you can see this. The back has been bumped a few times. I'll have to straighten all of this out. You can see where the overrider's kind of tapped into the rear panel here. What's kind of cool is you can see the factory leading here and over here. There's some in the corner here. I'll go around. There's some here where they joined these panels together. There's some more lighting up here. Some of it got blown out with the blasters. A little bit in this corner. It's kind of cool to see that because you normally can't see this. There's some lighting along here and again up in this corner. And here you can actually see a little bit of brazing. I think where they brazed it and then they lighted it together. The car's been hit here in this corner. There's some wrinkles here and in here. Someone had done some repairs on this quarter. Actually didn't do too bad of a job. Unfortunately, you have to use a lot of filler Bondo to straighten this stuff out, which there was a lot in there. And they did do this. They did a pretty fair job of putting on a new, they call this a dog leg. They didn't shape it too well down here, but I straightened that out. This is fairly new. Did a fairly decent job of that. Yeah, let's walk around. Their welds weren't too great. I'll have to clean these up, grind these off, smooth them out. Might do a little bit of rewelding. Same here. This looks really bad. They didn't do a nice job of that at all. What another thing's kind of cool. This is all factory. They go around. They braze the corners on things. You can see it here in the corners. Well, let's move on to this. When they replaced the floor pan on the right side, on that side, they did a fairly good job. The left side, that is not correct. That's all going to have to cut out, redone. What I found after the blasting, the left side floor pan has got some rust issues. Oops, there goes my hat. It's got some rust issues in this area, and again, they didn't do this correct at all. This flange around here should not even be on here. They should have cut this and set it down inward like the original is. And they used pop rivets, which you don't want to use pop rivets. They did. So anyway, this pan is going to be replaced, and when it's done, it should look like factory. The inner panel looks good. This panel, unfortunately, well, fortunately I have a new one, but this panel is going to have to all come off. I kind of thought it would, so I bought a new one. So that's all going to be replaced along with the outer rocker. The car had I assume a parking lot issue. Somebody put a crease down the center of the door and into this rear quarter. So the door was not in too bad a shape, but with that crease, it was just too big. I'm going to have to put a new door skin on the left door. By the time you try to straighten out what's there, it's probably quicker and easier just putting a whole new skin on it. As you can see, this is very normal on MGs, Roadsters and GTs. That's what rust looks like. It just gets in there between the wheel well. The water migrates up in there when you're driving around, and that's what happens. Yesterday I finished getting the epoxy primer on. Gosh, I put on 5 quarts of epoxy primer. I was thinking it would take about a gallon, but it actually took over that. So anyway, it's a lot cleaner, looks really nice. Now the fun begins. Start cutting and replacing a bunch of the sheet metal where I need to. Yeah, the car looks pretty good. Here's my outriggers I made. I pulled those off. I don't really need them on while I have it up on the lift.